Oh man, Anthony Johnson, Yoel Romero. I have no idea because Rumble Johnson hasn't fought in a long time. And Yoel Romero, I haven't seen fight at light heavyweight since he got beat in Strike Force. And what was that? To Fei Zhao, and I think Anthony Johnson is a better fighter than Fei Zhao. Anthony Johnson's also fought at heavyweight against much bigger opponents than Yoel Romero. Historically, he's done bad against Olympic wrestlers. He's obviously 0-2 against Daniel Cormier, but Yoel Romero doesn't really use his wrestling much inside the octagon. So I lean Rumble just because he's physically probably a more towering, imposing, hits harder fighter. But honestly, that's just throwing like a hammer and a screwdriver into a blender and hitting go, and whichever one is less banged up coming out of that is going to be the winner. I have absolutely no idea what to expect in that fight.
All right, Rumble Johnson versus Yoel Romero is like that weird sort of fight that you think would only happen in the video game, but we are getting it in Bellator nonetheless. So here it is, man. I know I typically don't pick people who have gone through long layoffs, and we haven't seen Rumble Johnson for years at this point. That being said, Yoel Romero, I don't think is the guy to beat him. If anything, Rumble will have maintained his power. Like, that's the last thing to go on anybody. And he can definitely lay hands on Romero. I think if it comes down to a pure striking battle, Rumble is much better than Romero. Has much more variety as well. And though Romero has that chaos factor and he can just do something wild and crazy, Rumble is really good at shutting people down and what they want to do. And think back to like the Phil Davis fight, just shut down the wrestling, which, by the way, Yoel Romero is known for his wrestling as well. I think he's going to shut down his wrestling as well. So it's going to leave Romero with not many weapons other than that burst of power. When we saw what that looked like against Israel Adesanya, if it doesn't land, then or if Romero's on something weird or just doesn't want to engage, but Rumble is going to take it to him, I think, and I think he gets the finish. I see this finishing by third round. I'll give it to Rumble.
Yeah, this is a great fight too, man. But I'm kind of leaning towards Rumble Johnson here. The guy is a monster. I feel like people are kind of forgetting how good he is because he hasn't fought in 4 years. That's the biggest question mark, the 4-year layoff, right? He hasn't fought in Bellator yet. Romero's making his debut too. But Romero, I think he's 44 years old now, Shaq, and he's coming off of 3 straight losses. He hasn't really looked that good lately. It's a close fight again. It's a pick-em odds, but I'm leaning towards Rumble.
Oh, just violence personified. I'm so excited by this fight. This fight isn't going the distance. All right, I say that it'll either be an end in the first round, or both of them will just get gassed, and then it'll go to a decision. But I'm leaning towards Yo purely based on activity. Rumble hasn't fought since losing to DC at was it 216? I think it was 216 in Buffalo. Yeah. It was I don't know if that's correct, if it's 216, yeah, but obviously he hasn't fought since that rematch, and that's such a long time to be out of the combat sports world. And I know that he's also, he's put on a bit of size. I don't know if you remember, there was a couple of Instagram photos of him where he was just looking absolutely jacked and what have you. So him carrying extra muscle mass coming into the fight, that could be detrimental. But I'm gonna go with Yoel Romero to win. And I think he's going to win via stoppage. I can't give you a round because it's like Yo could go crazy for the first minute and then just be gassed for the rest of the fight. I don't know, but I think Yoel's going to get the job done via TKO.
Gotta pick Yoel here. I don't even know what Anthony Johnson's going to look like at this point. I don't think that powerlifting is the best base for MMA. I could be wrong, but.